I want to do a quick training here for our MAP members, and then I want to show you something that I am using in these market conditions that have been happening this week when the markets get really volatile, and the volatility really starts to pick up. I have a tendency to wait for retracements. And in markets like what we saw Monday with the sell off, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you just don't get really much of a retracement. And so this is a tool that we developed years ago, maybe 2012, 2014, to help traders when the market gets into these really volatile situations to be able to take advantage of that. So a couple of things I want to run through here. I'll walk you through that in a minute, but I want to run through here and do a training for our MAP members and just cover a couple of things from MAP. So if you don't know about MAP, you can go learn about it, daytradelikeapro.com. You can check out what MAP is, but this is really where our highest level of traders are trading. I run the S&P. We have a trader who runs the NASDAQ MAP. So you can see here, this is before the market open. I'm on Pacific time. Yesterday, kind of a recap of how things were going. Anyway, we called the high to the tick yesterday. That happened. And then we said the Globex high had been 38.1775, and that was still not supposed to be high enough. And that we could see 38.20 to 22 and even 38.32 later on, meaning later on today, maybe on Sunday, whatever. We got to get, it's one at a time. We got to get through this area first. And if you go back and watch the video that I think that I did last night, I already called this 38.20 area last night. I think that was in the video that we sent out last night. Okay, so then right here, I'm going to just kind of go through. There were a number of trades that you could have taken in the smaller time frame. We had 38.06 as an area. But we said taking out 3,800 would bring in more selling back to this 37.80s and possibly a fair bit more. But if it does not break, if it does break down, we'll probably see back to 74. Now, breakdown would mean if they take out 3,800, we're probably going back to 74. That's 26 points. And if no break, going to 38.20 minimum. Now, where is this? Let me just find. So I marked this out on my chart, and I'm going to show you a couple of things in here. Unless they, this is at 7:31 my time. Unless they break 74 area, we probably still get a bigger move up today or Sunday Globex. So, in other words, buyers have not given up. And then what we said is, once they did break down, and we said they would need to take out 12 right here. Needs to break back up above 12 area for anything higher. Okay, so these are some of the more major areas that I'm pointing out to you. And I don't want to go through and follow this, go through line by line here. This would take too long. And if you are in MAP, you read this every day, so you already know how to interpret a lot of it. But I wanted to make sure we didn't miss anything here. Can still see 76 to 74. Okay, that was after they came down here. So let me just, so I've shown you a couple of things on here. Okay, so here's the open right here. And notice this right there, that's at the open, they pulled back to 06 quarter. So one tick above 06, which is what we said ideally. But we said as long as 3,800 held, it would be fine. So then these, the blue line here, this is our target for the day to start off, 38.20. And they hadn't been back up here yet. This is a new all-time high. And this green line I drew in, that's 3,800. These are two prediction points that we have. This is a prediction point. And then this is 76 to 74. I highlighted this area as an area that we were likely to see big institutional buying come into the market. And this was the area that we said if they didn't break this area, then we were going to go back up to 38.20 either today or Sunday Globex. And so this was definitely a buy area. So let's just walk through this. What happens? They did break right here. So you can see here's the breakdown. they break, and then warned everybody about it coming back up to 12. So here's 12. So you're selling this 12 area, and the minimum target would be right here. So you're selling 12 for down to 83, and then you can see that came down here. Nice reaction. They came to 1 point through that 82.25, and then that bounced up to 91.75, and then came down into this area. And great opportunity. The low right here was 75. Now that low happened at 10:45. Let's just go back and look in the chat. That happened at 10:45. At 10:25, we said we could still see this, but remember we said unless they break 74, we'll probably still get a bigger move up today. Okay. So what happens? They come down in here. The low right here is 75. So they split the difference of these right here. And then this, to me, looks like institutional buying. These big wicks coming up here. This is a 5-minute chart. So where do they come back to? They come back to 3,800 area. So first of all, notice this. They come right back to here. And then this pulls back a bit, but no real selling. And then we're buying this, 75. And we're looking for that. That's a 45-point target, I think, if my math is right now. So this is, you can take this trade with a few points of risk, and you've got a 45-point target over here. So same thing over here. Couple points of risk. Maybe you put your risk up above over here, or maybe you take 3 or 4 points of risk. Maybe. I mean, that would be kind of crazy if you were... For us, that would be kind of crazy risk. 3 or 4 points of risk would be way out of the ordinary. So right here, here's your opportunity. You can get short here for 76. So shorting 12 for 76 minimum, or sorry, 83 minimum, and then 76 possibly. So huge move there, ends up working out great. And then buying down here, these are just the 2 biggest moves of the day. And then buying down here for this move up here into 20. And if you remember early on, we said, where is this in here? 38.20 to 22. So what happened? There's the first push up here. So initial push right here gets to 23.25, and then they just kind of are stuck in this area. I still anticipate that we're going to see, there's 31.75. That'll change some on Sunday, but still up into this area. That makes a lot of sense. So likely that we're going to get a continued move up here on Sunday, at least somewhat into these. I'm not sure what Sunday's levels are yet, but up into those levels. So maybe even a potential gap up on Sunday. We'll see. So there you have it. Pretty straightforward here. Now, if you're a little bit more advanced, what are some of the things that you can do? Well, you can buy down here. You can cover some right here. You can buy this pullback right here at 92, which, I mean, if you look back over here, this, you know, that's obviously an area we were looking at. We pointed out that this was the Globex low. So coming up here, coming back to retest the Globex low, that makes sense over here. This red line I just drew to point out this target over here just happens to follow that trend up there. So you can buy some here, you can cover it, you can buy some more, you can cover up here in front of this, you can buy this pullback over here, and then cover it all up here, and then that's your day. So pretty great day. You can also over here, you can short, you can cover some, you can short it again, you can cover some, you can short it again, you can cover some, you can short it again, you can cover it all, flip it long. And we mapped all that out ahead of time, all right there on the chart. Okay, so I want to show you one other thing that I use for my trading. Okay, so this is something that we developed called the box, and it is basically, this is a 1,000 tick chart on the S&P. I've shown this chart dozens and dozens of times. This is Monday, and we had that big sell-off. So this is like in the middle of the night or early morning for me. They put in the high over here in the middle of the night, and then this starts around, 4? So early morning for me. 7 o'clock on the East Coast. And you can see there's this big sell-off. So basically you get, it's really this simple. The way this works is this box pops up on the screen. The candles are blue for a buy, red for a sell. It doesn't repaint. I get asked that question about 1,000 times. No, it does not repaint. This is the way it looks in real time. There's no repainting. So this box pops up here. Your risk is up here above the box. And then you get this arrow in real time that says sell. So here's your short at 37.67. And then that goes all the way down here to 37.36. So that drops about 30 points. And then here's another new box. The risk is up above here. So this can be really difficult to try and find, where do I want to get into a trend, or is this the reversal of the trend? And so that can be a bit tricky. So what happens is, here's another box. Your risk is up above here. You can get short right here. The short is 37.75. And that ends up being a low down here of 28.25. So about 9 points on this move from down here. Another short, and that ends up being from, you can, so if you've got short here, you can also sell this, or you can sell the top of it as well if it comes back up there. A number of different ways to trade it, but that's 28.50. We'll just go with the lower one. So that's 28.50. And look, it stays in a sell the entire time. There's no popping up saying buy or anything like that. So it stays in a sell the entire time. It goes from 28.50, so 28.50, all the way to new box, so it was the low right here, 36.69. So huge trade. I think that's like 70 points or something like that. I don't want to do all the math right now. It's Friday in the afternoon. I've been doing math all week. I think it's like 70 points. So something like 37.30 to 36.70. So 60 points on that trade. And I'm not saying you're going to hold that the whole time, but this is telling you can be in a short position here, and it's never switching to a long. So maybe only scalp 10 points of it. 10 points on a 1 lot is still $500. 10 points on a 10 lot is $5,000. That trade went 60 points. So I'm not saying you're going to get all of that. And there's another short right here. This box loves markets that are volatile, that are really moving. If the market is sideways, this is not the tool to use. If you were, during COVID, we've done a bunch of different home improvement projects. I wouldn't show up and go, well, I have a hammer. What can I hit with it? No, I'd look at the job and I'd say, what tool does the job need? And if it's a screw, I'm going to use a screwdriver, or I'm going to use a drill or something. I'm not just going to say, well, I have a hammer. Let me see if I can just hammer the screw into the wall there. So this is not it's not meant for all types of markets. So when you start to see that the volatility is increasing, that the ATR is picking up, this is when you can go, oh, the box is built for these types of markets when they're really volatile. When the market is in a tight trading range, this is not the tool. Don't use this in a tight trading range, okay? So another short at, let's just call it 36.70. And this ends up being the low right here. So it ends up going 18 points. And these are, by the way, these are targets. These are profit targets you can use along the way. So it got right down to this lower one here at 52.75. So there's your first target, second target, third target, filled within one tick. And then what happens? Pulls back here a bit. Now look what happens. Now you get reversed into a long position. So here's the long from 36.76. That goes up about 11 points, up to 87. And then here's a buy. This is how I would, if I was teaching you about trade management, this is how I teach you about trade management. You want to get long when it says get long here. If this doesn't follow through, wait, okay? So don't turn it into a loser. It comes back, here's the retest. Okay, if this doesn't follow through, don't turn this trade into a loser. Same thing over here. It gives you a sell signal, and also maybe they're putting in a bottom, maybe we're entering into a time when they're going to start consolidating. Okay, I need to take those kinds of things into account. So here's your short signal. It doesn't stop out. Another short signal. This has to get some follow through if it's going to go lower. Okay, so this goes from 78 down to 70. It goes about 8 points. comes back up, does not stop out. And then, look, this is failing, it's failing, it's failing. I don't know exactly what happens next, but I'm going to be fairly confident that it's either going to chop around like this or you're going to get a buy signal and that's going to run. So let's see what happens. There's a buy signal. So plenty of opportunities to cover this trade. If you did that, there's a buy signal. Wouldn't be surprised to see it pull back and chop around a bit more. It does come back into it. And that's the end of the day. And even this buy signal triggered right here at 86 and it went all the way up to 99. So 13 points on that trade. Stays in a buy signal, comes back into a buy signal again. What did I say? Chop around a little bit. Okay, so here's a buy signal. It doesn't break out. One of the things I look at is I look at these previous swings over here. So see how it didn't get up above this swing right there and it didn't get up above that one right there. So either way, if I enter this trade right here, okay, so let's just say, okay, so that one turns into a loser. In these big markets, you're going to have bigger stops. So that ends up being a 10-point risk inside of here if you literally let it go that far. But there's really no reason to do that if you know how to manage the trade. There's your short position. It goes from 91 and it goes all the way down here to 73. That's 18 points. So if you took this one and you lost 10 points and you took that one, you're still up 8 points net. You got back your 10 plus another 8. Okay, so that comes back up. Here's another buy signal. This is the middle. Okay, now here's the morning. So here you go. So here's a buy signal. This goes from 02 up to 12. That's 10 points. Remember this market. This is, I think this is Tuesday morning. So what did I say? When the market's choppy, stay out of this. You don't want to take these signals. So when the market starts getting choppy like this, I'm going to use this swing low over here. And then I'm going to use the swing high. So here's your swing high. It failed. But look at all the time that you had here to get out of this. So from here, even this trade, if you got short right here, you had from 6:46 my time until this is like 15 minutes to get out of this trade. Right anywhere in here would have been around break even. Here, you get long right there at 10. That's at 7 o'clock. And you had 5 minutes that you could have taken this trade off either in profit or around break even, something like that. I want to watch this swing over here. I want to see if it's going to break down. I want it to break down below here. So there's the break below there. Now I'll take this one on a break below here. Okay, so there's 0.75. It breaks down, but it needs to keep going. So 0.3 down to 88. So this goes something like 15 points or something. Here's a short. Again, not getting that momentum. This is meant to catch those runs. So this is not a run. When it goes like this, no, not run. Okay, not running. Wait, it's retracing. I got in this trade because I'm expecting this thing to really run down. Not happening. Okay, it's fine, but I really don't want it to come back. So if it starts coming back, I'm going to take the trade off and I'll wait for the next one. Okay, not giving me anything good. There's the buy signal. Now this needs to run. So we walk through it one by one here. Okay, it's really, this is turning out. This is working out. This is running. Great, so here's my first target, second target, new buy signal. I can adjust my risk. If I'm holding this, new buy, I can adjust my risk. Look at this trade from where it got long over here. This is 36.98. And you could have, to the top of this is 37.30. So over 30 points on that trade. And multiple opportunities to enter in on that as well. Okay, here's your short. This ends up going from 18 down to 11. So about 7 points on that one. Spikes up above here. It gives you 21 up to 35. So it's 14 points. There's your short signal. Again, 18 down to, on this one, 95, so 23 points. Anyway, I think you're kind of starting to get the idea. Yes, there are going to be losses. Look at this thing around the open. This was tricky for a lot of traders to find where to get in here. Look at this thing. It catches this right here at 15, 37.15. And look at this run all the way up to here at 37.66. So that goes, what is that, 51 points up to there. So that one signal gave you 51 points up to there. The market, these types of markets with this kind of volatility that we're coming into right now, the box was built for this. I've been saying that for many years. Here's your short opportunity. It goes from 61.50 down to 55.50. So there's 6 points. It retraces. This is in trading time. This is an eternity to get out of this trade. Here's a reversal, trade back up. Don't love that it came back down in here, but I'm okay with it so far. It didn't come all the way back. There's your short trade again. So this goes from 68.50. Really nice run down here. 23 points. So again, if it doesn't run, dump the trade. This doesn't run, it comes back, get out of it. Here's a short, doesn't, that's fine. This signal is still profitable from where this entered short. So even if you were holding this and it flips, you can also buy this when it comes back into here. Still okay. If it's holding this middle line here, this is fine. There's your, okay, so there's a run up to there. So look what's happening. It's choppy. This is the middle of the day, what's happening. Here's a short at 47. That goes down there. So about 14 points on that one. There's a chance you can re-short it if you want. We call this the retest of the median trade. So it's testing the middle of the box here. And then this drops. And then here's a fake breakout. Doesn't really get any follow through. You can still take this at break even if you want. I don't like this trade. It's coming into late in the day. I don't like it. So I wouldn't be doing anything here. Here's the Globex. And I didn't want to have this turn into too long, but you can just see here's a long right around the open. And then big rip up. And you can just see this thing catches when it's volatile. This thing is fantastic. And this is a 1,000 tick chart. You can use this on all kinds of different settings. If you want to scalp, you can use range charts, tick charts. It works better, I think, because it requires the bar to close. So I don't like it as much on time charts, but you can do it like that. But so tick charts, range charts, volume charts, I like those on it. You can all kinds of different settings. So here's your long. That works out nice. Anyway, this thing is absolutely amazing. You go check it out. I'll put a link here below the video where you can go check out. You can get it as part of the Pro Suite and get all the indicators. But this is something for these kinds of markets. I mean, this is like being a trader and not having this. Is like being a carpenter and not owning a hammer. I mean, there's going to be so many times where you'd be thinking, man, it'd be so helpful if I had a hammer right now. So this thing's just phenomenal. It does a lot of the hard work in dissecting the market and telling you what to do as it goes along here. So there you have it. Again, go check it out, daytradelikeapro.com. I'll put the link down below here. And happy trading. And if you're part of Day Trade Like a Pro, thank you. And we'll see you in the trade room on Monday.